In Ecuador, citizen revolution movement's Luisa Gonzalez has become the only woman to win the first round of a presidential election and will face businessman Daniel Noboa in the country's runoff. In the United States, tropical storm Hilary has caused flash floods in Southern California after making landfall on Sunday night with winds of up to 40 miles per hour. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva arrived in Johannesburg ahead of the 15th summit of the BRICS group, which is set to begin on Tuesday. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Anne Rosabal from the TeleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. With 100% of the tallies counted after declaration from the Supreme Court, Fernando Arevalo is the country's new president-elect. The Semilla movement has obtained 58.4% of the total votes, winning over the national unity of hope candidate Sandra Torres, who has 37.21% of the votes. After the announcement by the electoral body, the Semilla movement formula, made up by the 64-year-old academic and Karen Herrera, addressed the country. Arevalo did not avoid comments referring to the public prosecutor's office, which has already warned the organization of new procedures. In Guatemala, several authorities have congratulated Fernando Arevalo of the Semilla Movement Party on his victory in the second round of the presidential elections. The Mexican president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, congratulated the Guatemalan people and the winning formula, predicting a time of humanism and justice. The Honduran president, Xiomara Castro, has also done so. The president of Honduras did the same, remembering the father of winning candidate and vowing for Central America unity. In the same tone, the Venezuela executive, through its Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ivan Gil, congratulated the Arevalo-Herrera binomial and reiterated its willingness to work constructively and respectfully for Latin American unity. In a historic event in Ecuador, Luisa Gonzalez, a candidate of the Citizen Revolution movement, has become the only woman to win the first round of a presidential election so far after Sunday's election day. With more than 92% of the votes counted, the candidate for the Citizen Revolution wins with 33.29% of the votes and will face the right-wing party Democratic Alliance, led by the businessman Daniel Noboa, in the runoff next October 15. Noboa obtained 23.77% of the votes. According to National Electoral Council, 80% of the electoral roll participated in the election day, in a process marked by the inconveniences registered to our society vote abroad. The winner of the first round, Luisa Gonzalez, a candidate of the Citizen Revolution, highlighted the historic facts that a woman was the winner.
In the history of Ecuador that a woman obtains such a high percentage in the first round, winning the election to be president of the Republic of Ecuador and lead the destiny of the country. Thank you very much to my beloved Ecuador. Thank you to the young people. Thank you to the women, to the men, to all those who have trusted in the citizen revolution and in Luisa Gonzalez. We are celebrating. There is no doubt. We are celebrating because we are making history, because although many of us have been made invisible, today we begin to mark a different history with faith, with hope, and optimism.
After learning the results, Daniel Noboa, seen a candidate of the right-wing National Democratic Alliance, thanked him for his ticket to the ballot.
As of tomorrow, we have to start working again. We have to campaign again. There is a second round. We still did not achieve the objective, which is the presidency of the Republic. What we have done is to pass to the second round, for which I congratulate my team and I congratulate all the people who accompany me.
And in this context, Ecuadorians also cast their votes on Sunday, opposing the oil drilling activities within a protected region in the Amazon in an unprecedented decision. This area is not only a sanctuary for two indigenous tribes living in isolation, but also a significant biodiversity hotspot. By early morning, with over 90% of the votes counted, around 6 out of 10 Ecuadorians rejected the oil exploration in Block 44, which is situated within Yasanun National Park, a renowned global center of biological diversity. The region is home to the Tagarin and Tarominami tribes who choose to maintain their self-isolation. This historic referendum occurred concurrently with the presidential election where the lefty candidate Luisa Gonzalez and the right-wing contender Daniel Noboa will proceed to a runoff. Kenya's assessment mission arrived on Sunday in Haiti, which has been plunged into one of the worst waves of violence in recent years. On Sunday, the Kenyan assessment delegation has arrived in Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti, with the purpose of evaluating the current situation of violence that shakes the Caribbean nation. According to information provided by the Haitian authorities, the mission will remain in the country for 3 days and will hold meetings with different actors of the national life. The Kenyan mission, which could lead a multinational force to combat against, arrived in the country in the middle of one of the most overwhelming waves of violence in recent years. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at TeleSUR English, where you'll find news in different formats, new dates, and more. All the studies coming up, stay with us. Welcome back. The passage of Tropical Storm Hilary has left the municipality of San Felipe in Baja California in the northwest of Mexico isolated. There were no fatalities, but there was damage to the facades of business due to the strong winds. At least 100 people, including adults and minors, were rescued from their homes and taken to temporary shelters. For 21 hours between Saturday and Sunday, there was no communication via internet, cellular, and fixed telephony. The signal returned at 3 o'clock this Sunday morning, although intermittently. The rainwater that accumulates in the northern and southern part of the seawall was pumped to the sea by means of the pumps that have been installed and have channeled the liquid at a rate of 60 liters per second. And in the United States, Tropical Storm Hilary has caused flash floods in Southern California with rainfall from the southern coast of the state to the desert area. Hilary made landfall in California on Sunday night with winds of up to 40 miles per hour, nearly one-third of its maximum, and became a tropical storm. Meteorologists said this is the first tropical storm to hit Southern California in 84 years, bringing with it potential for flash flooding, mudslides, isolated tornadoes, intense winds, and power outages. Some mountain and desert areas have been hard hit after receiving more than half of the year average rainfall in just one day. According to the U.S. National Hurricane Center forecast, Hilary will continue to track across Southern California and Nevada with a potential to put lives at risk. An earthquake of magnitude 6 shook the south coast of Ecuador and the north of Peru in the early hours of Monday. The Geophysical Institute of the National Polytechnic School registered the telluric movement at midnight local time, with epicenter in the west of the city, Machala, capital of the coastal province of Oloro in Ecuador. According to the first official reports, there were no confirmed damages to the people and materials caused by the earthquake. The port city of Guayaquil was where the earthquake was registered with greater intensity, causing alarm and the evacuation of some people from the buildings. The heat wave sweeping Spain will keep 13 communities on alert, 9 of which will activate the orange warning for heights up to 43 degrees Celsius. According to prediction of the state weather agency, cities of Andalusia, Aragon, Castilla, Catalonia, Extremadura, Madrid, Navarra, and La Rioja will be this Monday under orange warning for extreme heat from noon onwards. On the other hand, the yellow level lower is activated for the Balearic Island for maximum temperatures of 36 degrees and for Valencia. In the south of Galicia will reach up to 37 degrees on Arsens, as well as in the Basque province of Alaba. The Canary Island, which is suffering from so far uncontrollable forest fire in Tenerife, may also exceed 40 degrees in the southern quadrant and northeast depressions. Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida on Monday set the release date for the treated wastewater from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant will be decided on tomorrow's cabinet minutes.
Tomorrow morning's cabinet meeting, we will decide on the date for releasing the treated radioactive wastewater by TechCop, after reaffirming the government's effort in ensuring safety and tackling reputational damage.
For his part, Masanobu Sakamoto, head of Japan's Natural Fisheries Cooperative, expressed his concerns as it remains over imminent plans to release treated radioactive water into the sea from the Fukushima nuclear plant.
First of all, our position remains unchanged, that we are opposed to the water release. And I told Prime Minister Fumio Kishida that we will uphold this stance. There are concerns that once the water is discharged, there will be reputational damage. There is no way people in the fishery industry can rest reassured. That's what I told him.
And in this context, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin also criticized Japan's determination to go ahead with its plans to discharge the plant's water into the sea despite international concerns.
The Japanese government has been ignoring domestic and international opposition questioning the legitimacy, legality and safety of its discharge plan and its risks to the global marine environment and human health. It just remained headstrong on dumping the water into the sea. This is extremely selfish and irresponsible. China expresses its grave concern and it will closely follow the developments.
In Russia, 2 Ukrainian drones have been shot down again near the capital, Moscow. The Minister of Defense reported that its air defense forces stopped an unmanned Ukrainian vehicle with its electronic warfare system early Monday morning. It happened when the device was flying over the area. According to the ministry, when it lost control, the device crashed into the Onsinovo district with no injuries or death. An hour later, another drone with similar characteristics was destroyed in the Isra district, leaving at least 2 people injured. More than 80 migrants have been rescued off the coast of Cyprus. The emergency alerts were received at around 15:30 local time, and the Joint Relief Coordination Center said in a statement. They confirmed that the life of those on board were threatened, and they say that among those rescued were 6 women and 19 minors. They have all been taken to the port of Aya Neipa. At least 20 people were killed by incineration and 15 others were injured in a traffic accident in Pakistan Punjab province. The combined forces of rescuers and firefighters stated that the incident took place on the highway at Fasilabad Toll Plaza in Hasibabad district, Punjab, where the bus with 40 passengers on board collided with a truck carrying fuel, causing a large explosion which resulted in a fire. Police have not given statements on the causes of the incident, which are still under investigation. It is only known that the bus was on its way to the capital Islamabad from the port city of Karachi. Pakistani authorities carried out a rescue operation to urgently transfer the victims to a nearby medical center. TeleSUR English launches its own videos on demand sites for you to go and revisit our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Just go to the top left corner on our website homepage and click on the video option to access our VOD platform. Now we have a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva arrived in Johannesburg ahead of the 15th summit of the BRICS group, which is set to begin on Tuesday. The 15th BRICS Summit will kick off this Tuesday in the city of Johannesburg, South Africa. This is the first time that the leader of this economic association will meet in person after the coronavirus pandemic. The Standard Convention Center, Johannesburg May Visa Center, will host South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Chinese leader Xi Jinping, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. Russian President Vladimir Putin will participate in the meeting by video conference, but Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov will attend instead. In addition, representatives of 34 countries have confirmed participation in the event. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa is already in Johannesburg to host the 15th BRICS Summit. While waiting for the leaders of China, India, and Brazil and the Russian Foreign Minister, the President assured that the forum promotes an equitable and balanced world that defends an inclusive system. In this way, he responded to questions from the press on the Ukrainian conflict and the Russian presses at the summit. Ramaphosa ratified that South Africa defends neutrality and the matter is not within his competence, adding that the meeting that begins on the 24th could be the beginning of a new global dynamic. On the eve of President Xi Jinping's trip to South Africa, the Chinese foreign minister assured that they will support the entry of new partners to the BRICS group. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs detailed that China has always been convinced that the BRICS are an open and inclusive mechanism. For this reason, they welcome new partners that they have called the Great BRICS family. There are at least 20 countries, among them Mexico, Argentina, Nicaragua, Turkey, and the old giants Nigeria and Venezuela, that aspire to join the mechanism, and for this reason, China will facilitate any strategy that guarantees rapid accession. The route could become the most powerful in the world. On this topic, Busi Mafusa, chairperson of the South Africa BRICS Business Council, expressed the relevance of more countries becoming a part of the group.
Nations are seeing the opportunity that is offered by being part of the BRICS bloc. BRICS includes two of the fastest growing large economies in the world. It represents over 40% of the world population. And I think these nations can see that our relationship is based on mutual respect. It's based on a partnership that is inclusive, mutually beneficial, and them coming to the table with us will only strengthen the South-to-South cooperation that we need for a sustainable future.
The BRICS Trade Fair, currently underway in anticipation of the Common Leadership Summit, set to commence in Johannesburg this week, provides an opportunity for companies across Africa to connect and promote their products to significant emerging markets. The trade exhibition, organized by the South African BRICS Business Council and the Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, started on Saturday with the official opening by a high-ranking South African official. This event showcases the bright offerings of Africa, including cutting-edge technologies, advances in healthcare and transportation, and various everyday products. It also presents opportunity for African enterprises to embrace industrialization and growth through the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. South Africa currently engages in trade valued at $80 billion with BRICS nations.
You'll see a number of products. You'll see cars and taxis and buses and three-wheelers that are made here on the African continent. You'll see here also not only a showcase of South African industrial capability, but also of 19 other African countries.
As a company that is in the area of deploying Wi-Fi to underprivileged communities, equipment for me is a big one. So I'm attending one of the sessions where Huawei is speaking, because we have to find cheaper ways of production to ensure that we reduce our costs, and so that we can roll out to as many communities as possible.
In Angola, Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel and his counterpart João Lourenço held official talks on Monday. During the meeting in Luanda, the Caribbean president extended to his counterpart the invitation to officially visit the island, as well as to attend the next summit of the Group of 77 on China to be held in Havana on September 15 and 16 in September. The Cuban mandatory valued the fruitful meeting and confirmed the feeling of friendship and mutual trust that distinguished bilateral ties. The Cuban president ratified a will of both parties to continue expanding and consolidating those relations in areas of mutual interest. The Cuban head of state arrived in Luanda on Sunday, the first stop of its visit to Africa that includes Mozambique, Namibia, and South Africa, and later to participate in the upcoming BRICS Summit. In this context, Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermudez held a meeting on Sunday night with a representation of more than 200 Cubans collaborators in Angola, where he recalled the historical roots of the friendship between the two nations.
We are here out of solidarity. We are here out of solidarity since Che and Neto met in the 65. And later on Neto met Fidel, and from that long history of friendship, there was also a crucial moment for the Angolan homeland. Neto asked Cuba to support them in the defense of the country, and it is true that the work of Cuba was heroic or epic. The Carlota operation, the battles that distinguished that epic as was Quito Cuanavale, but it has also been very heroic what has been done in terms of cooperation based on the postulate of Fidel that we saw at the beginning of this meeting, and that you are protagonist of this other stage that has also been epic.
We have come to the end of this news brief. You can find this and many other studies on our website at telesurenglish.net. And join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Ana Rosabal. Thank you for watching.
We are here